Good evening, Guardians. My name is the Black Link, and it is Thursday evening, so you all know what that means. It's time to cover another of Bungie's weekly blogs, This Week at Bungie, for the week of June 7th, 2018. And this is coming at the bookend of a very, very important week in the world of Destiny. We, of course, had the official reveal of the next DLC, Forsaken. We got to see a great Bungie video documentary showing off all of the new features that we're going to be getting within that DLC. Just all kinds of Destiny news items dropping on us this week. And that, of course, takes center stage within this week's This Week at Bungie. Cosmo starts off this week's blog by basically giving a quick rundown of the things that we've learned about Forsaken this week, giving us a quick too long didn't read version of both the video documentary as well as the longer Bungie livestream that they held where they went into even further detail. We have videos covering all of this stuff and even more that we've learned throughout the week, so if you want to get a deeper dive into it, make sure you're going back and checking out that coverage. But here's the TLDR. Forsaken tells a new story with a darker tone in a lawless frontier. The Tangled Shore is going to be a new destination made of a web of asteroids and mysteries. The Dreaming City is our first in-game destination, home to the biggest challenges, and by in-game destination they mean it's going to house the raid as well as other in-game activities and secrets. The Scorn are our new enemy faction, led by a group of 8 barons you will hunt down. Our new weapon system is going to give you more control over how you configure your fighting style, and they're adding in random rolls and improving the mod system for better weapon customization. The new Masterwork style system allows you to level weapons up over time, and your Guardian is going to discover new ways to fight with 9 new supers. Additionally, we've got a brand new weapon type with bows, which are going to be coming in alongside the incoming DLC. Gambit is a new activity that combines PvE and PvP in a competitive co-op experience. There's a brand new raid located within the Dreaming City, of course, and the new Collections feature lets you track all of the items you can acquire within the game. Finally, the new Triumph feature lets you track your achievements and lore. There we go. All of that and more is going to be coming with some of the summer updates and of course the Forsaken DLC drop on September 4th. Now, of course, those aren't the only changes that we're seeing before Forsaken comes out. Cosmo revisits the Destiny 2 development roadmap that shows we're going to be getting an update 1.2.3 on July 17th and then even later on in September, which is of course going to include events like the Solstice of Heroes, the change to 6v6 in the Crucible, permanent rumble, bounties, and even more. Like I said before, we've got videos covering all of this stuff thus far, so if you want to dive deeper into that, be sure to check out our videos covering the subject. Now, alongside the Forsaken DLC announcement, we also got another announcement for an upcoming season pass. This is going to be called the Annual Pass, and it's the cause of no small amount of consternation amongst the community. And rightfully so. It was revealed in kind of a clunky way. It's got a big price tag of $29.99, $30, in addition to the $39.99 that is the base cost for Forsaken, that's going to cover several upcoming seasons of content. It wasn't really clearly explained at the time exactly what was going to be coming within this annual pass. Thankfully, we get to hear directly from game director Christopher Barrett about what exactly is going to be in the annual pass, and we're just going to read what he has to say verbatim. Destiny 2 Year 2 begins with Forsaken, and throughout that year, we're going to be focusing our teams on delivering content that gives players reasons to come back to Destiny. This means new activities, in-game challenges, progression systems, and awesome rewards. With the annual pass, we want to deliver content more frequently throughout the entirety of Year 2, with 3 releases in winter, spring, and the summer. In addition to everything new in Forsaken and the annual pass, we're continuing to fully support seasons and deliver updates to all players of Destiny 2. During each season, all players can expect new rewards to earn, new Crucible maps and modes, improvements to gameplay features, recurring activities, special events, and more. And they put together an awesome new graphic that shows off exactly what's going to be coming within the seasons, exactly what's going to be coming within the annual pass and the 3 content releases that are going to be tied to that. And we're just going to take a second to go over it really quickly. So first off, we see Forsaken over there, the major expansion, everything that's going to be coming as part of that. We've got new story, new destinations, new in-game destinations, new levels and power, new subclass paths and supers, new PvE and PvP game modes in Gambit, the new raid, new rewards, new legendary gear, new exotic gear, the new triumphs to collect, and of course, new lore to discover. All of that is tied to the $40 expansion of Forsaken. For the seasons, this is the stuff that's free to every player of Destiny 2, so you don't need to own Forsaken to get this stuff. This includes seasonal rewards, stuff like faction changes, faction rally, Iron Banner, stuff like that. Special and seasonal events, so stuff like Festival of the Lost if that happens to return, or the Dawning sometime in the winter. Quality of life changes, so think sandbox changes, nerfs, buffs, changes to strikes, stuff like that. And finally, new Crucible maps and game modes. So whenever they add in new game modes and new maps to Crucible, you're going to be able to get that here as part of this seasonal update. This is available for everybody who plays Destiny 2. Now, it's important to note that there's a difference between Gambit and normal Crucible modes. In order to play Gambit, it does look like you have to own Forsaken. But for other, more normal Crucible game modes, maybe some of the stuff that they're testing in Crucible Labs, which we'll be talking about in just a second, that'll be free to everyone who owns D2. Now comes the annual pass stuff, and I'm really glad they clarified what exactly is coming in the annual pass, because a lot of people were concerned like, oh, is the new seasonal stuff like faction rallies, like Iron Banner, like Crimson Doubles, is that going to be tied into the annual pass? If I don't own that, am I not going to be able to play that? So I'm really happy they took the time to clarify here, because a lot of us were panicking, and rightly so. But here's what you can get with the 3 premium content releases tied to the $30 annual pass. The 3 premium content releases are the Black Armory, scheduled for winter 2018, Joker's Wild, scheduled for spring 2019, and Penumbra, scheduled for the summer of 2019. Within these, you'll be able to get more pinnacle activities, that's in-game stuff, more weapons and armor, new and returning exotics, Hawkmoon please, more in-game challenges, more raid lairs. This is a very important distinction. I'm going to come back to it in just a second. Unique vanity rewards, more triumphs to collect, and more lore to discover. So it looks like these premium content releases might kind of be taking the place of some of the smaller DLC packs we've been getting, stuff like Curse of Osiris, stuff like Warmind. That larger scale in-game content that's going to be adding in stuff like additional raid lairs is going to be tied to these annual pass premium content releases. It's actually kind of interesting. It looks like they're using the annual pass to kind of pay for the ongoing development of this content within Destiny 2. And I have to say, when it's explained that way, when we get to see this list of things that are going to be added in during these premium content releases, it puts me a little bit more at ease about the price of the annual pass. I'm still not happy to have to pay $30 on top of $40, at minimum $70 for me to get all of the content moving forward. But knowing that this is basically going to be providing some of that content that we've been getting in big DLC packs, well, I paid $30 for the season pass for D2 and got Curse of Osiris and Warmind. You're going to be paying $30 now to get all 3 of these premium content releases. And now that I know stuff like raid lairs and new pinnacle activities are tied to it, that makes me feel a little bit better. $30 on top of the $40 for Forsaken is still definitely a lot of money, and I absolutely understand and agree with a lot of people who are a little bit worried about some of that extra overhead cost. But at the very least, now I see what's coming in those premium content releases, and I can more justify that price to myself, although, let's be honest, we all knew I was going to be buying this anyway. But either way, I'm glad they took the time to explain what's coming within the annual pass. Gives us a much better idea of what to expect in the future. But alright, that is pretty much it for that section. Finally, we got a little bit of talk about the Crucible Labs, this time from senior Crucible designer Andrew Weldon. He basically just took to the blog to reaffirm some things that we already heard about Crucible Labs. That basically it's there to test new game modes, not really sandbox changes or anything else. That they want to use Crucible Labs for polishing and bug testing game modes that they're still working on. And we got to see that with Showdown last week. But Andrew also wanted to make mention that there's no real concrete timeline or schedule for the game modes that pop up during Crucible Labs. They could pop up at reset, they could disappear before reset, and that their goal is just to get feedback on some of their more experimental game modes, but that they will be putting in some rather interesting stuff sometime soon. He leaves us a little bit of a teaser there in the final paragraph by saying this: "You may very well see Showdown again in the future with changes based on feedback from this week. And we have some additional labs experiences in the pipe in our summer update. Over time, we'll continue to get into the zone and lock down the best process and path to deploying new experiences for you. We're glad to have you along for the ride." And if you were to ask me, it sounds like right there they're teasing the return of some game modes like zone control. But there we go, Bungie just wanted to again clarify that Crucible Labs is meant to test new game modes, not really anything else like sandbox changes right now. And there we go, Guardians. That is pretty much it for the biggest bits of news to come out of this week's This Week at Bungie. A lot of interesting stuff there. I've been put a little bit more at ease now that I know that the annual pass is going to include in-game content like raid lairs and whatnot, and I'm definitely excited to learn more about Forsaken as we move forward. But that's it for this one, Guardians. What are your thoughts on all of this stuff? How do you feel about annual passes now that you know that raid lairs and other in-game content is going to be added within it? What about Crucible Labs? What game modes would you like to see coming forward in Destiny 2? Be sure to let us know what you think down in the comment section below. But that's it for this one. If you enjoyed, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 news. Alright, I'm out for now. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.